afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
So I have a couple of announcements. Sorry. Just next week, the book club is on Tuesday at 1 o'clock for those folks that are involved in the book club. We also have the special bingo game. That's the big bingo game that we did in the past. We're starting that up again. That's Thursday next week at 1:30. Sign up for that. We got a call. I don't know if you folks know Jerry Leblani. He usually comes here on Fridays. He wanted everyone to know that he's in rehab, but he is doing well. He says hello to everyone. He actually feels better. So that's good news. Yes. Also, we have a special dessert today. It's a cake donated by Georgiana and her family. Georgiana, thank you. And this is to celebrate her birthday. So please join me to sing Happy Birthday to Georgiana. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Georgiana. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Yep.
23.
Yep. All right, another lunch and learn today. Thank you, Chief, again, as always. Thank you. All right, Sally, do you have anything?
Yesterday we did the wreath craft on the wall over there, and they absolutely came out adorable. Everybody had the same sort of stuff, but they come out so different. It amazes me every time how unique you can be with the same materials. But they came out absolutely gorgeous. Our next craft is the teacup craft, and that's on Monday. And if you don't make it Monday, I'm not doing it again. Okay?
There's a second one.
Second one, we're done.
Do you have a sign-up list? Because I didn't see it.
That's a wait list
It
class.
was a wait list. So
Yeah.
the people who didn't make it onto the first craft got
You on the wait
waitlisted.
list?
I was the first one on the wait list.
There, you're on the
You're
craft.
on there.
Okay, this Monday.
This coming Monday.
Okay,
So you're already on it.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Pat? Do you have anything, Pat? Oh, no. We're good. All right, let's do a moment of silence before lunch. Thank you. Enjoy your lunch.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Lunch and Learn. My name is Chief Montminy. Thank you for having me again. I'm generally here one day a month to do a Lunch and Learn with everybody. And today we have the fine folks from Country Bank are here. We have Cindy Saucier, the manager, and Cameron Morin, the assistant manager. They're here to talk to you today about fraud and things you need to be careful of with your banking, okay?
Oh, thank you.
So please give them your attention.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. And thank you, Chief Montminy, for that warm introduction. We're very excited to be here as you guys enjoy your lunch. Like you said, we are just here to share some awareness around what's out there when it comes to fraud and scams, specifically in the Uxbridge and surrounding community. So yes, I am Cameron Morin. I'm the assistant manager over at Country Bank.
And I am Cindy Saucier. I am the manager over at Country Bank right here in Uxbridge. We are so excited to be in Uxbridge. Cameron is going to pretty much be working through this presentation, and if you could hold all questions till the end, that would be great. Thank you so much.
Yes, and if you didn't get a raffle ticket, definitely come see us or give us a wave, and maybe Cindy can run over a ticket. But we're raffling off the two $25 Hannaford's gift cards, so definitely take advantage of that. But otherwise, we'll dive right in. Thank you, guys. So I do want to start with one quick video. It's only a minute long. kind of set the scene for us today.
Tonight, we have an update to a complex scam warning we first told you about here yesterday.
State police say the man accused of scamming a Moodus couple out of $10,000 has scammed 2 more families in Summers. Let's get right to our chief investigative reporter, Sam Smink, with the new details. Sam.
According to 2 different families in Summers, someone called them suggesting a family member had been arrested and they needed bond money. In both cases, the families took cash out of the bank for their family member's bond. After they did, someone came to their homes to pick the money up. State police say the victim's description of the man who came to pick up the money was similar to this man on your screen. He's already a person of interest in a scam investigation after police say he physically came to their home and took 10 grand for the fake bond from a Moodus couple. Police are now asking for any information on the suspect. We have talked with some scam prevention experts. They suggest you have a code word with loved ones. So if you do get into a situation like this, you can ask for the code word to see if you're actually talking to your family member. They also say to be careful about the personal information you post on social media. Sam Smink, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
So the story in that news reporting, it was actually my grandmother who was victim to that scam. Yes, she and my grandfather, they're 88 years old, still living at home, and she got a call that she thought was my sister. It sounded just like my sister on the phone. My sister, of course, she was living in Philadelphia at the time, so my grandmother doesn't see her as often, and she said on the phone, oh, I got into a car accident and I hit this woman who was pregnant and she lost the baby, and now I am in, I need bond. I'm being held in jail and I need bond. So if you could please go to the bank and get $10,000 to pay this bond so my sister could get out of jail. My grandmother went down to her local bank and she took out the money, and a lot of times these scammers will have you send the money electronically, maybe Western Union or post a money order, something like that. My grandmother wasn't familiar with something like that, so they actually sent this person to her house to pick up this money in person. The gentleman on the screen there that you saw, and this is one of 3 instances. It was a scary moment for her and for my grandparents, and it's obviously personal to me. It's why part of the reason I wanted to be here with you guys today, just to kind of help spread some awareness and warn, hopefully nothing like this happens to any of you. So I really appreciate you indulging me with the story there. So we'll move right along. All right, perfect. So why does it matter to you guys? I think it's important to need to know how we identify scams, because if you can identify them, you can hopefully prevent falling for them. Scammers are always creating new ways to get people's hard-earned money. Ourselves at the bank, any bank that you work with, as well as law enforcement, are always constantly fighting these scammers. So it's very important that we stay on top of this. The consequences can be greater than just losing your money. Your identity can be stolen as well. And accounts, loans, or fake IDs can be opened in your name, oftentimes before you even realize it. And if you're getting harassed from a scammer, maybe on your phone at home or your cell phone, you might be able to block one number, but now you're on a list and they're just going to be keeping harassing you from another number as well. And oftentimes fraudsters, they really do see it as their job to support their own family. So they kind of view it as their family versus your family. They're out there and their job is to steal your money, so they're going to work hard at it. So we have to kind of be wary of that and do the best we can to protect ourselves against it. The quick graphic on here. So these are right from the Federal Trade Commission. So last year in 2024, sort of some statistics around some of the most common occurring scams that were out there that were reported. It's important to note that not everything gets reported. So, obviously these aren't the full scope of what's going on. But right at the top is imposter scams. You probably can't see that, but it's imposter scams. Almost 600,000 reports on those, and the most occurring loss of $800. So, that happens so much. I want to highlight as well an investment-related scam with an average loss of $9,000. So, again, these are just what's reported. but it's real. It happens to a lot of people every single year. So just wanted to highlight that. We are going to be focusing on imposter scams today, as it is one of the more common occurring scams in this community as well. So how do scams work? Fraudsters will use all methods of communication. They leave no stone unturned. They'll call you on the phone. They'll send you an email. They'll send you a text message on your cell phone if you use that. And of course, the old-fashioned mail, they will send that right there too. And oftentimes it's sent out as a phishing, we call it phishing scam, for a victim to bite. So they cast a wide net and they just try to get as many people to bite at the item and see what comes back. It's really a numbers game for them. So if you take anything away from this presentation today, take away the 4 Ps. It's a really great way to remember if something might be a scam, and we'll go through those right now. So the first P is pretend. So fraudsters will pretend to be somebody else, to build a connection, and will try to be very convincing. They may be pretending to be your bank, calling you. They might pretend to be a lover or romantic interest. They might pretend to be a family member, like the instance with my grandmother and my sister. The second P is problem. The fraudsters, there's always going to be a problem. You might say something like, your bank account has been hacked, your computer's been hacked. Maybe some of you have run into this already and seen it pop up on your computer. Or your IP address has been hacked. Your grandchild is in trouble, for instance. And oftentimes when it comes to a romance scam, they might have a sick relative or their family member is dying, and only you can help them. In any scam, the third P is pressure. It's always time sensitive. So fraudsters will pressure you to act now. They don't give you any time to think about what really might be going on. Oftentimes, if we're in sort of a fight or flight response, we're not really thinking clearly. So they want to scare people to the point where they feel they really have no choice. Sometimes even using guilt to get you to send money. And lastly, what are scammers after? Almost all the time, payment. They want money, right? So the last P is payment. Fraudsters will ask for money in an odd way given the scenario that they're talking about. For instance, they may ask you to deposit money into a Bitcoin ATM, which are popping up, to settle an FBI order. That doesn't sound quite right. Or purchasing a gift card or a prepaid card and then reading the information over the phone to the scammer. That doesn't sound right either. Or wiring money through your own bank to an account number that they just gave you. It turns out it's in another state or another country somewhere. The important thing to remember about this payment is all of these forms of payment are very hard to reverse. So once the money is gone, even if you identify that you've been scammed, there's no likelihood you're going to get that money back. And these scammers know that. Another key element with scams is the element of secrecy and isolation. Most scams do involve this. Oftentimes impersonators will tell the victim not to tell their bank why they are withdrawing $10,000 or to give a fake reason as to why they're withdrawing. I know I worked with a customer, I'd known her for several years, and she came in and told me to my face that she was buying a car for her daughter. And I had the conversation with her. You know, I really felt that it wasn't a true situation, but she insisted, and she took out, thankfully it was a bank check for $30,000, but she came in later that week and told me, yes, like she was being told to tell me that she was buying the car. That wasn't true. It was a scam. I mean, thankfully we were able to cancel those checks and save her that money, but imagine if that was cash, and she'd taken all that cash out, which does happen. But specifically too with romance scams, there may include isolation of the victim from friends or family. There might be some sort of forbidden love where, you know, the friends are just jealous or they don't understand you and me. You know, they use words like this to isolate you from the people that you trust. So I do want to thank Chief Montminy for providing some insights into what he has seen at the police department here in Uxbridge. A lot of government imposter scams, whether that's IRS, the FBI, or the FDIC, as well as grandparent, also known as family in need scams. Additionally, tech scams. So whether it's Microsoft impersonation or Norton virus security impersonation, those have come through a lot. So we are going to focus on a lot of these today. First up being the imposter scams, specifically tech companies. So obviously there's numerous tech companies out there. It could be Amazon, Geek Squad, the Norton Security like I mentioned, Google, Apple, the list keeps going. So some warning signs to watch out for. They often want you to click links or download software onto your computer. You might see like pop-ups that come out, like I have up there if you can see on the screen as well. They may ask for control or remote access of your computer. They say that your computer, your IP address, or your phone have been hacked. And then what's strange is they'll often transfer you to your bank and put you on with a bank representative. You should question, how do they know your bank? If this is the security, the tech security service. And again, they may ask for payments by gift cards, ATM deposits, or just some unusual way that a reputable company wouldn't be asking for. So how do you protect yourself from these? If they ask for gift cards, cryptocurrency, or cash, just don't send it. If they tell you anything is hacked, just hang up the phone. And always contact your loved one or another family member or friend to verify what you're told. Sometimes just removing yourself from the situation, in that moment with the fraudster, will allow you to kind of talk to somebody else and you'll realize, yeah, this wasn't real. Imposter scams for government agencies, such as, like I mentioned earlier, the IRS or the FBI or FDIC. Oftentimes they're going to reach out to you and say that you owe them a lot of money and you must pay a bond, often immediately or face severe consequences. They'll threaten you with jail time. And they often say, you can't trust the bank, or what we've seen too here, they're actively investigating the bank. So don't talk to anybody at your local office. And they'll demand payment in a strange way, a gift card, ATM deposit, etc. How do you protect yourself here? Just remember, the IRS will never call you. They'll only send certified mail, so just hang up the phone. The FBI will never disclose an active investigation, nor involve a civilian. Again, hang up the phone. And the FDIC, it's not a bank, it's the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. It insures the banks, and it does not want to collect your money. Hang up the phone. And always, like I say, contact a family member or a friend, or even your bank, just to verify what you're told. Any of your local banks will be happy to confirm that for you. When it comes to the grandparent or family in need scams, like similar to what I shared earlier with my own grandmother, they're calling, pretending to be a grandchild or family member, or sometimes a lawyer for that family member. And they always are asking, don't share this with any other part of the family. Maybe, the granddaughter in this case would have said, oh, don't tell mom or don't tell dad. They want to, just keep it between you two. They state that they're in jail or hospital and they need money right away. And they're asking for payment again in strange ways, gift cards, ATM deposits, cash in this case, or another unusual way. And I wanted to note here too, maybe some of you have heard of artificial intelligence. It's on the news a lot more, also known as AI. So scammers will use this. They'll search social media, so Facebook or similar, and they're going to look for audio of your relatives. And all that they need is maybe 1 or 2 videos, and they get enough of that voice to replicate it artificially. And then that voice can come through on the phone. It's truly horrible to think about in that way, that they can mimic somebody so well. But it's something to really be aware of. How do you protect yourself? Always verify the situation with another family member if you can. Like they mentioned at the end of that news article as well, use a secret code. When my grandmother spoke to her local police, they advised her the same thing. And so you could just work with your children or grandchildren if you have them and say, this is a secret code that if I ask you this, you'll be able to tell me. So I know I'm speaking with you. It could be any word. But if the scammer was asked for the secret code and they didn't have it, you would hang up the phone. If you're asked to pay bail to anybody other than the local court, you'd want to hang up as well. And again, if they ask for gift cards, cryptocurrency, or cash, just don't send it. The last one I wanted to touch on today is romance scams, also known as sweetheart scams. So a few warning signs. Your relationship may have started on Facebook or any other social media. Now I do like to say, obviously, a lot of people are meeting people online these days, so there are some legitimate relationships. However, there's also a lot of fake profiles on Facebook, and it's very, very easy to set that up. Another telltale sign, they're often going to give you investment advice with impossible return rates, like, oh, I have this great offer you can't miss, that I know it's a surefire way to get you, double your money. Something doesn't sound right about that. And say you're talking with this person and you're getting to know them and you're feeling this romantic connection to them, and you say, let's meet up, let's go get lunch or something. There's always going to be something that comes up preventing them from meeting you. They're never going to actually be there to meet you because it's unfortunately not a real situation. And again, they're going to ask you to pay for things by gift cards, maybe a money transfer service, or some unusual or unfamiliar way. So how do you protect yourself? Facebook is full of fake profiles, like I mentioned. If your relationship started there, it's very possibly a scam. And if you're guilted or shamed into sending money, it's a scam. I mean, somebody who's truly, interested in a romantic capacity, they're not going to be guilting you or asking you to send them money. Just don't fall for that, please. If they do ask for gift cards or crypto or cash, again, don't send it. So moving forward, after this, today, always feel free to speak with myself or Cindy. The door's always open. Like we mentioned, we're right down the street here, less than a mile, Country Bank, right in the Hannaford Plaza. You can always stop in or give us a call. We have our business cards here today in the little giveaway bags for you guys. But Country Bank and every local bank, wherever you bank, is always here to help you. And there's something I want to say too, don't feel ashamed if you do fall for a scam. It is common and it can really happen to anybody. Obviously my own family member fell victim to this, but her being able to share that with the police and to be able to share that with us, allows us to spread that awareness. And if you talk to us, we can get you the help that you need to maybe get out of that bad situation, help regain control over your life and your finances. So a message to leave you with, if it sounds too good to be true or it doesn't feel right, it's a scam. All right. And I really appreciate you guys. That concludes my presentation here. So thank you very much.
Questions? Does anybody have any questions for our team here? If not, I want to read you something. I got a message on my phone on Tuesday. It says that it's from the Connecticut Department of Vehicles, which Connecticut has a Department of Motor Vehicles, but not motor. Final notice, enforcement penalties begin on June 6th. Our records show that as of today, you still have not paid an outstanding traffic ticket. In accordance with North Connecticut State Administrative Code, there is no place such as North Connecticut. Apparently, if I don't pay them immediately, I'm going to jail. So I'm basically going to text them back and say, okay, come get me. But we'll see how that goes. But it can happen to anyone. Those messages don't just come to me, they come to everybody. They don't care who you are. They send them out by the millions, and they see if one or two people will bite. That's what happens. Particularly the grandparent scam, which is what we see here a lot. They'll call up and they'll say, Grandma, it's me. And you say, is that you, Sally? Yeah, it's Sally. Right? And then they try to convince you that you owe them, you need to pay them money because they're in deep, dire straits, and if you just pay them $10,000, and oh, by the way, you have to be on a gift card. Those are all scams, don't fall for them. Does anyone have any questions for our team? Or are you all just waiting for the drawing? Okay.
I do
They're looking
have
for a
a
drawing.
There's a question
We have a question?
So I know they're calling and texting, but I keep getting all these things about Apple and different things. And my understanding on an Apple phone, they're not supposed to be sending you that kind of stuff. So I'm assuming all of that is still fraud. Like, I've got 5 viruses, I need to download this, iOS, all that.
Most definitely,
Okay,
yeah.
I wanted to double check, because I'm ignoring them, but it's like, when it comes to the Apple stuff, and that I'm a little leery sometimes.
Yeah, the best practice would be to ignore it and delete it. Sometimes when you go to delete it as well, it will say report, so it's always helpful. But yeah, anything, regardless of the carrier that you use, that your cell phone provider, any sort of text like that.
Now, we had one going on that I knew was a fake. It was from the Easy Pass, okay, saying, I got another one on top of that. I got that I was getting fined because I went through the fast lane, okay, where you're supposed to have more than one person, and I didn't. That was a
I was going to talk to
total.
you about that.
Oh, I did talk to you, okay, yes.
I'm joking, no.
I forgot I called.
You're not in trouble, don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's all a scam.
You're not gonna come get me, huh?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good question.
A lot of them I get from Microsoft, because I have Windows on my computer. And it's not to send money, but I mean, how do you know, like, do you have viruses and stuff? You know, on your computer, and you have a virus or...
So certain computers are, like, they should have the antivirus built into it. So, I mean, I guess I should say, do you know if you have like a specific antivirus that you use on your Microsoft?
Well, now, I went to the Geek Squad.
Yeah,
I went to Best Buy,
right.
and I've got their virus on there now, but before I didn't.
But going in person is always a good call. I mean, the warning signs that we would say is if something pops up on your screen. That's usually how they're trying to get you, because you might be, it says that you have a virus right on your computer, and it says, you know, click this link or dial this number. That is the big red flag to be aware of. If you have the Geek Squad, or you have a dedicated number that you can call out to, that's going to be a lot better.
What if it's on the computer? Well, like it says, call Microsoft.
Yeah, I would definitely ignore that.
Or an email.
Yeah, Microsoft never asks you to call them ever.
Oh,
Ever.
all right,
So
okay.
if the message comes up in your security software,
Yeah.
you can usually rely on that. If it's a pop-up, or if it's in a web browser, and if they ask you to call,
Oh, okay.
Microsoft never asks you to call.
Great note.
Thank you, I didn't forget you guys.
Thank you.
Oh, I like chocolate. Hold on, I got
Oh,
one.
question in back?
Give me a sec, yeah, give me some.
Come over for you.
I'm gonna-
Google Maps in the car, I'll be getting a notice from Google saying, click on these pictures to make sure you're not a robot. We've noticed unusual activity on your IP network.
So I hope if everybody heard that, yeah. So you're saying when you're looking at Google Maps, those images come up to click and verify?
Right.
Those are usually, that's a security measure. So several websites do use that. If the second part though about you saying something with the IP,
Because we've noticed more activity at your IP address.
yeah, I mean, that's very possible. I would just, like we've been saying, if there's any pop-ups and saying like your IP has been hacked or anything like that, that's good at least. I would definitely be wary of that, but it's possible there could be more activity. Your IP is just, that's kind of a, I guess you could say, tracer for wherever your computer is. Every computer has its own IP.
Right.
Yeah, so it's very possible maybe there's just more activity there.
Okay, but by someone else, or, I mean, you know, there's nothing else that you're doing different.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, you could say if you wanted, like, I can give you my card as well, and you could email if you take a screenshot of it. You could always send it over, because I do that for some of our customers too. But yeah, just send it over, we'll take a look at it for you. Sometimes it's good to just see it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, definitely. Cindy's bringing around some goodie bags. We'll put those together for you guys as you enjoy dessert here, which looks delicious. Any other questions?